Looking at wine glasses and just deciding what style, shape you want to have does have some bearing on how the wine tastes. So I brought along a little selection just to act as a guider. The first one I'm going to go to, we'll start from your end, Zoe, is this little chap here. And in the trade, it's called an ISO professional wine taster.
That's far too small for me.
I know it's not good, is it?
No, it's not. I'm more of this one.
Yeah, there's a much better.
That's at my end. Hands off my glasses.
But the aim of the tasting glass, of course, is to give you maximum swirl with minimum damage. So this works terribly well, and I promise you, fill this up about a third full with white wine, and you can stir it as much as you like. And these lovely slanted sides hold the wine in, holds the bouquet in, and so when you come to smell it, you get a sort of almost volcano of bouquet coming at you. These are lovely, and at professional tastings, this is what you'll be given, and you'll wander around on one of these, or you'll run around with 2 or 3 of them, in fact, because they're quite a nice size. It means you don't have to keep going up to the table to try another wine. So that's the ISO. Not a very pretty glass. It's not necessarily something you'd like to have on the table, but just what the pros might use. Then on to the sort of the lunch and dinner selection. And what I've brought here is a collection from one manufacturer in Austria called Riedel. And for me, they make a wonderful range of glasses that are suitable to all occasions. The first one, the champagne flute. Now, you may have seen the lovely old-fashioned champagne bowls. You ever seen those?
That's what our parents' generation
Yeah.
sort of,
Made famous probably by Baby Sham.
Yeah.
That lovely big thing. Well, that glass was, in fact, created, supposedly, to be the perfect shape because it represented a woman's breast. And it was...
Steady on, Jasper.
And it was moulded around Marie Antoinette, and that was its history. And unfortunately, as a champagne glass, it doesn't really work terribly well because with that huge surface area, the bubbles are coming off too fast, the wine's aerating too fast, and you really can't get much of a bouquet. And if you ever try and swirl it around, it's gone everywhere. So this is by far the best style to really get the full flavour of champagne. And what I love about this one is actually you can't get much champagne in there. So if you're a bit mean with your champagne, like I am accused of being, by the time you've filled this only about 2/3 of the way up, not to the brim, so that you've got a chance to allow a little bit of stirring going on. But this really holds all the bouquet in. It's a lovely glass. Then on to the white wine. The one I brought here is called the Chianti shape. And again, I've picked a glass where the sides just come in a little bit. And this glass, again, lovely balance. And for white wine, it's not too big, it's not too small. You want to fill it again about perhaps just under a third full. And then you've got the perfect volume in there to stir around, and that does the job very nicely. Then on to red wines. The first one I'm going to look at is a huge glass. And in fact, if I put it back there again, we look at the difference in size. It is twice the size. And I think, James, if you tried very hard, you could achieve what we were talking about in a little aside earlier. I think you can nearly get a full bottle of wine in there.
Yes.
But I tell you, I have tried it, and it then gets very top-heavy, and it does feel very strange.
Empty it quickly.
That's it.
Actually, Jasper, the other reason I like this sort of glass is because you and I both have sort of French-type noses, unlike sort of Zoe's petite little nose. And with the old champagne, I find I have to sort of move my neck back like this. With this, you can actually get everything in there.
It is perfect for that.
Very practical.
And of course, you want lots of stirring, big red wines to get all the bouquet captured in there. The last shape I'm going to show you is this beautiful tulip shape. And this is for Pinot Noir. And in fact, although Shiraz works well in here, Pinot Noir does very well in this glass as well. It's got a huge surface area. And so again, you put just a little bit in the bottom, and it almost is like a brandy balloon on a big stem, isn't it? And this has got a lovely shape. And if you feel that you can just stir and stir.
It's a great swisher.
And with Pinot Noir, with Burgundy, about 50%, perhaps more of the pleasure of the wine is in the bouquet. And so you can just sit there and just swirl that around and constantly sniff. And it's a lovely shape.
That's very pleasing. It almost wants to make you hold it like a brandy balloon.
But that's how I feel about this one. And I'm quite upset that this is, a red wine glass. Is it wrong, is it illegal in the wine tasting world if I were to perhaps have a white from this? Would it be frowned upon?
I feel a Pinot Grigio is going in that later on.
That rosé.
It's a picnic glass, Zoe.
You can do what you like with them, of course you can. And in fact, once you've moved away, if you were to serve champagne in there, it might not be a very clever thing to do.
I wouldn't do that.
But white wine, of course, and a rosé in there, whatever you want. So with these shapes, is there a particular favourite? Zoe, what would your favourite be out of these?
Definitely this one.
You'd go there.
And I have to say, that is an ugly glass, and I would not be drinking my favourite glass of wine out of that.
I think that's very fair. It's a very practical, it's an industrial glass, really.
I don't like practical industrial. I'm more into pretty.
James, you can pick the same one, but have you got a favourite out of that?
It's got to be the nose-friendly one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Wonderful, wonderful.
Gets the vote.
Well, there's a little simple look at some glasses, and now I think probably we ought to put it into practice.